Снайпер! Контакт! Прикрой меня! Я должен перезарядиться!
Alright folks, now Russian server only, St. John's Wort, 𝗓𝗏152, Premium Tier 8, Russian tank destroyer. So like wargaming, Lesta Studio really likes these iconic World War II Soviet vehicles, like the T-34-85s, the IS-2s, and now the ISUs, but this is marketed mostly for Defense of the Fatherland holiday. They have it at the end of March annually, but it's a marketing decision with a stock ISU. There are a few leaves on the hull sides and the gun barrel, but that's a bear trap. Low res for the teeth, but that's a bear trap. So it's a stock ISU. It is a marketing decision, but there's a few caveats to this vehicle, so we'll talk about it. But it's not a bad model, but there's a lot of ISUs, like ISU-130, 122S, which is the Berlin version. There's the 152, 152K, and the 122-2, which is the reverse version with twin barrels, but we'll count it anyways. So, more historically correct version of this vehicle with the gun, so the nubbin of a 152, but let's take a look. Premium tank, makes more credit and crew XP. It is the ML20S, the stock gun on the tech tree version, but crew of 5, fits all the ISUs and high tier object 268s, version number 4s. And let's take a look at this gun. So 1100 alpha. It is actually a high explosive round with 156mm of pen. Now that's nothing to laugh at, right? But it will decimate any low tier vehicles like tier 6, tier 7 if you manage to hit. Accuracy is kinda workable, but not the greatest. Aim time is surprisingly fast. It's faster than the BL-10 or the replacement for the BL-10. That thing's like 3 seconds. So this thing is actually fast to aim. And the gun depression and gun traverse arc are practically the same. So let's take a look at this high explosive round. How weird that you having high explosive as default standard shell, whereas AP takes the high explosive spot. But 156mm of pen and shell velocity is crap. Well, then again, 655 is close range. You're not sniping with this high explosive round. I mean, unless you're a god with the KV2s like derp round, then this is practically up its alley. So shell velocity is slow, but it's a big ass damage. 1100 alpha. That's insane. AP round, 215mm of pen with only 700 alpha. So DPM gets cut dramatically by like 1000, but shell velocity is also crap. Yeah, 655 for shell velocity as well. So yeah, the reload time is longer than the top upgraded 152. 24 seconds of reload time compared to about 19. So DPM gets cut dramatically, right? But gold shell is high explosive anti-tank with better shell velocity and better penetration, but 819 is still not the greatest. Not really. Well, you could make it work, but yeah, you can tell it's gold shell from the red banner around the yellow stripe. That's a gold shell. It's the same with APCR round, you can tell. So a little red stripe around the banner. If it's AP on something like the SU-100Y, then it's a black banner because red on red, you cannot see it, but that's the way of telling if it's a gold shell, usually. So yeah, weird. High explosive default round. DPM is not bad, but if you manage to hit, it's kind of devastating, especially to low tiers. Well, then again, to high tiers like a Leopard 1, oof, that's tons of damage. That's like more than half your health if you're playing a Leopard 1 or a Bat Chat or something. So if you are a god with a high explosive round, then holy crap, this gun is kind of devastating. But can I see the dispersion? I can. It's 4.6. Well, moving about in the socket. And for the tracks yeah, it's not great. So, I mean, it's obviously not a medium tank, but that's about. Let's use the actual ISU as comparison, so you get a feel of the stuff. But upgraded gun characteristic, 4.6 on traverse rotation. It's the same, 4.6 for gun, 4.6. So same dispersion while moving the gun, at least for my mods. And it's better while traversing the hull at 11.5 compared to 10.3. So it's actually better traverse dispersion for the hull. Interesting. So, but then again, still shell velocity is crap, right? Shell velocity is one of the big downsides of high damage, low accuracy, garbage accuracy guns. But if you hit, it hurts. It really does hurt. Now, health-wise, it actually has more health than the normal ISU by 200 or so, which is surprising. I mean, it's more like a Fernand at this point. It is really like a Fernand. Yeah, it's more than 200 health. It's about 200 health more than the standard version, but armor is the same, 90 at the front, 90 at the sides, 60 at the rear, so practically no armor unless you hit the mantlet, which is a big troll. Yeah, the mantlet is... Well, there are parts that are only 100 on top of the mantlet. Huh. Upper plate is well sloped at 60, so that's an auto bounce, but it's only 100 for the middle lower plate, 90 for the sides. There's a fuel tank right here, so hit here and you'll damage the fuel tank. Hit here, you'll hit the commander. So, no. Yeah, this mantlet seems a bit weaker than the actual mantlet on the ISU, right? I mean, this thing has a troll mantlet. I played this vehicle like 1,000 times, I know. What the hell? Alright. It might be space armor that eats the shot then. That might be stupid. Yeah, why does it say only 100mm and you'll pin? You're not penetrating this mantlet? That's a lie. Might be space armor. So, yeah. And I'm trusting the mantlet more than what it says it should be. So, yeah. It's still garbage armor. Just don't trust it anyways. And mobility-wise, has better horsepower per ton ratio. And top speed. Top speed seems about the same, like 43 compared to 40, but horsepower per ton seems like one more than the actual vehicle. Well, let's just use the ISU. 15.05 compared to 15.34. Alright, still a little bit better. And 43. Ah, I was off. It's still about the same mobility. Traverse 21.6. And hull traverse is 21.9. Did I say 0.6? I'm illiterate. Yep, can't say stuff, can't read stuff. So mobility is the same. Weighs about 46 tons. Max low total weight. It actually weighs less, mostly because of the gun, right? Because of the gun. Camo 19.05. That seems high compared to like 15 or something. 15. This thing has better camo by 4%. That is crazy. Oh, it's because the leaves. It already has the camo on. Yeah, it's the same. Okay. It already has the camo paint job, so technically it's the same. But alright, fine. My mistake. And view range is still crap. Radio is the substandard, but still workable. Yeah, view range is typical Russian vehicles at tier 8, 350. 350, it's crap. But it's a assault tank to shore, whereas the actual ISU is a support, right? It's a support, it's not assault, so you're more camping in the back, right? It's not sniping. Well, it could snipe, but yeah, sometimes it hits. This thing is more aggressive of a playstyle with more hit points and slightly faster to rev speed, but it's all about the gun. It's really about the gun. If you manage to hit, then holy crap. 1100 alpha for a high explosive round. I mean, on the high explosive for the actual ISU, you don't get that much alpha and definitely not as much penetration. but it gets faster shell velocity. Yeah, 633 or something is kind of crap, but that is the same with AP round. And APCR flies faster, but yeah, you definitely want a rammer. Rammer is an obvious must. You could put improve aiming to help with the accuracy, but then again, nothing really helps the shell velocity. I think shell velocity is more detrimental to this vehicle than the actual accuracy. Yeah, shell velocity is harder to use than adjusting for accuracy with the equipments, but maybe vents also helps out with everything else. It does aim faster, dramatically, like half a second faster, so that's good, but base accuracy is 0.42 compared to 0.39, so it's a little bit worse on base accuracy. Yeah, I would still say rammer, maybe vents. You could forgo the accuracy if you're having garbage penetration anyways, and you're just using high exposure, right? So I would say vents for the second slot, and for the last slot, they want you to be a little bit more aggressive with this vehicle. You could put improved hardening to prevent yourself from being detract while being aggressive, but I would still suggest maybe a turbocharger or binoculars, camp in the back. You don't really have that much armor to be aggressive. You could play as support and try to like back up heavy tanks, and they'll take the hits and you just pop out and dump a 1100 alpha shell into the enemy hull sides. But field mods, it's practically the same for tier 8s. Nothing really changed for assault compared to support, but we'll do assault anyways at tier 8, so nothing really changed. The likes of the TS5, it's not TS5. First one is obvious. We've been talking about tank destroyers for a while. Holy crap. First one, increase effective hull traverse. So at terrain resistance, just choose the first one. We've already been through this. Accuracy or aim time. Now surprisingly it has good aim time, so I will go with accuracy, right? Surprisingly decent aim time for a derp 152, so go with better accuracy. And finally, view range or concealment after firing. Definitely view range. You have no concealment after firing, practically none. 2.7, it's nothing. So go with better view range. Yeah, view range sucks. But you can also put coated optics going back on it. Yeah, use your teammates to spot for you. You're just a damage dealing monster of a high explosive round. If this vehicle could go into indirect, like artillery viewpoint, and just lob a shell across the map, then that's a big plus, but you cannot do that. So it's all about the high explosive round. This thing devastates low tiers like nothing. I mean, it has the health to back up, even though you don't have the armor, right? You can just take the hits, tank the hits, but... And that's why improved hardening works a little bit better on this vehicle. It increases the overall health. So if you're top tier against a bunch of freaking Togs, well, Togs will not see tier 8s, against a bunch of freaking heavy tank number 6, yeah, you'll penetrate. With that penetration of a high explosive round, you'll devastate any low tier heavy tanks if you manage to pin. But then again, you also splash if you don't. But yeah, this thing is a... If this thing would have armor, right? If this thing would have the armor of a BZ-176, it's devastating to tier 6s and tier 7s. Sometimes you roll high with the BZ-176. That deals like 900 alpha. And it feels bad. This thing does 200 more on average. So, holy crap. This thing will melt tier 6. This will not feel good to play against in a low tier vehicle. It has the health to tank the hits, even though it doesn't have the armor. But if it's top tier, it's like a freaking 7. If it's bottom tier, then still goddamn annoying. It's a high explosive round. It takes so long though. It takes really long to reload. It takes even longer than the Jagdpanzer E100. About the same time as a 1A3 FE215B. So it's annoying, definitely, but it doesn't have the penetration of a FE215B 1A3 though. I mean, tier for tier kind of does when you think about it. Yeah, it's obviously more mobile than a 1A3, definitely. But yeah, if it's bottom tier, I still think it's annoying. It's still a 5.5, right? The high explosive will still annoy people, even though you're not dealing that much penetration against them. It's as a premium tank, that's still kind of toxic. Yeah, this thing is freaking annoying as hell to deal with. If you're bottom tier, it's still annoying to deal with if you're top tier. If you're playing an armorless vehicle like a freaking Leopard 1 or something, if you get caught off guard by this gun, holy crap, more than half your health is gone. Holy shit. Well, there you go, folks. St. John's Wort 𝗓𝗓-152. So Russian server only, but you already saw the likes of the 𝗓𝗓-122V making its way onto the premium list at tier 9 on the super test. So yeah, Wargaming could actually bring this to tier 8 on the normal servers from Lesta. So who the hell knows? But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.